Welcome to this mudlarking video. I'm currently feeding the birds while I try to pluck up enough courage to walk out into the river that runs through my hometown, in front of many tourists and onlookers and a few people that I actually know. I'm really quite introverted, and the prospect of all these people watching me and asking me what I'm doing is a little uncomfortable, but I do very much want to walk a section of this river and see what I can find. And here we go. Sorry ducks, didn't mean to disturb you. Wow, I've probably walked over this bridge more than 1,000 times, and this is the first time that I've stood underneath it. It's more than 500 years old, albeit repaired and partially rebuilt in 2012. And there's people watching me already. Okay, first find is a handle of some cutlery. Looks a little rusted, so it's not silver, unless it's plated. Doesn't matter, I'll take it regardless. Just a piece of plastic. And some more. Sorry if the camera is wobbly, the riverbed's uneven and it's a bit slippy. A blank piece of pottery. And another. And the blank base of a cup. It's my coat tied around my waist that's causing that shadow around my legs, just in case you were wondering. It was cold when I set out and it's very sunny and warm here in town. Nope, I've no idea what this once was. A little bit of blue and white with a flower pattern. And some river glass. I'm being watched again. A ceramic spool. I seem to find things similar to this quite often these days. Oh, this is unusual. It's china. Perhaps a handle, but a very weird one. Any ideas, anyone? And a doorknob. Quite heavy, a little bit broken, and not otherwise very special, but I'll take it. Ah, it's a lanyard, previously worn by a staff member of Fatface, possibly thrown into the river by an ex-staff member of Fatface, which for anyone who doesn't know is a chain of clothing stores, and they have a shop about 40 metres downriver. The underside of this bridge looks remarkably clean and well kept, considering that it's a roosting spot for pigeons. If my memory serves me correctly, it's a Grade 2 listed building paid for by public subscription and built in 1892. Maybe the listing means that it gets cleaned and repainted on a regular basis. I think this is part of a carbon fibre fishing pole. And the plastic top and straw from the takeaway drink. piece of a plate and a blank little piece of china. Oh, it does look like there's colour on the plate, something of a floral pattern by the looks of it. I'll take it home and clean it. The spout of a petrol can. Not very exciting, and missing the screw fitting to attach it to a can, so it's going home with me, and if the plastic is recyclable, then the recycling bin is where it's headed. There's something interesting. What is it? I don't know, looks like it has an eyelet, and it might be missing bits. Maybe a charm? What do you think? A ceramic stopper or cap for something. Still has a rubber seal on it, quite battered and broken, but I still like it. An iron bar, a drinks can, a car suspension spring which I'll leave, and a plastic pouch. There's some official wall inspectors up there, making sure there's nothing in danger of collapse if there's a flood. A bottle cap, straight in the back. And a stick I like. And some more plastic. And some river glass for balance. They're nice guys doing a job I think I'd enjoy. This weir is very slippy. I've already fallen over once on it. I think I might just walk in the water instead. Slowly, or the water will get above the top of my wellies. Yep, I've just got wet, and my wellies are currently full of cold, cold water. Never mind. Oh, that's surprising. Not very old, but I didn't expect something so colourful. I think it was part of a vase. Certainly looks like it to me. Just a rotting piece of paper. That's a pretty piece of rust. Not quite sure what it was. Can anyone tell me? It's too big and heavy for me to take today, so back to its watery grave it goes. A piece of lead. And another lanyard for a visitor to somewhere. teaspoon. Stainless steel and still functional. What is this? Looks like something electronic. Maybe a very distraught record player? And is this a former part of it? I can't tell. Quite possible. A part of a hinge or a door closing mechanism. I'm not sure which, but it's got writing on it, so I should be able to find out if I can remain interested in it for long enough. Oh wow, a knife. A big carving knife, hopefully just a discarded kitchen implement and not evidence in a crime. If it's that, then the river will have degraded anything useful, so is it even worth reporting this to the police? I'm really not sure. The glass top for an old style of jar. I did find one of these recently, but I seem to have left it in the bottle dump. So this is a nice substitute. Another piece of cutlery. I wonder what other bits of kitchenware I'm going to find. I have found a microwave today too, which is a little big for my little bag. Is that Santa Claus lying face down in the water? No. It's a statue of a small child holding a star. There's a small creature in its eye, some form of a larvae. Okay, I don't want to kill it. I'll try to wash it off. I think that worked. It's a heavy little thing. I think it's rather full of water. A piece of lead and another piece, both set into some cement, probably from windows. Okay, this looks like an old bicycle bell to me, missing its innards, and something plastic, the foot off something. And this looks interesting. Is it a fossil or a mineral, or something else entirely? And am I curious enough to carry this upriver and then all the way home? These are questions I don't know the answers to yet. There's a road at the top of that wall, and I walked down it earlier today. The wall looks and feels much higher from up there. A jug handle by the looks of it, and that's a rather nice geometric pattern in green underneath the algae. Ah, a diamond cutting wheel. Slightly chipped along the edge. Shame that this is the first diamond thing I find on film. Essentially worthless. I can't help what it is though. A bit of rotting card on top of a set of old mill trolley wheels. Just one axle and a bit more iron attached to it. Something electronic. Well, that just came off. Lots of lots of little wires. Maybe it's related to that thing which may or may not have been part of a record player. Electronics really aren't my forte. If you know, please do leave a comment. A piece of black hosepipe. Into the bag. Of course, everywhere I explore there's a paste jar. Shipham's. They're still in business, but I think they use plastic now. A nice piece of blue and white. It's got a picture of a hut and some trees. Probably a garden scene, maybe willow pattern. That outlet there goes under the mill, and the other end of the pipe is where I started the mill pond and waterfalls video. Doesn't look like very much from down here, but it's a beautiful valley up there, and if you haven't seen the video, I think it's one of my best. Oh dear, a nice big piece of copper pipe, which is certainly worth some money in scrap value, and will be a heavy addition to all the other heavy things I've got to carry home. I'll at least wash out the heavy mud so I don't have to carry that. Oh, and a small copper wire. Wire everywhere. And I forgot my wire snippers today. Oh, it actually goes into a block of concrete. I'll leave it for now. Oh, a clamp from some scaffolding. There has been some recent renovations to this section. These bits of girder sticking out of the walls used to stretch all the way across, and they supported a platform, like a bridge, but not used as one. Perhaps just an extra bit of land for the mill that used to be where those flats are now. A piece of sheet lead, maybe formerly part of a drain pipe, it's hard to tell. And oh, a very rusted knife. It does seem to be a day for kitchen implements, or weaponry, depending on the context. Oh dear, another car key fob. I always feel bad for whoever's lost them, they're so expensive to replace. And what's this? Some sort of handle, it looks like. It's a bit crumbly and will make a mess in the bag if I take it. I'm not all that keen on whatever it is. Not today. I think this outlet is fed by a very silted up mill pond and stream. I'm surprised there's actually water coming out of it. Right, onwards. Wire, so much wire today. I'll take the plastic too. It's a stubborn bit of wire, wants to remain buried. Yay, got it. It's quite a pretty little weir, really. It's one I was only vaguely aware was here. Shame so few people get to enjoy it. It's hidden from all roads and all public footpaths. Rather an intriguing old mill tunnel. I think the mill is long gone and the other end will be blocked, so perhaps it's the bars in front of it that make me want to explore it so much. A huge block of iron oxide, maybe with a small remnant of uncorroded iron hidden deep inside. I'm behind the very small remains of the industrial part of town now, so I'm expecting more iron and scrap metal and probably a bit of trash. Not many treasures. Quite a faded piece of blue and white. A pile of ash there. A bit of an electrical insulator. Strangely placed little beach. And a small chunk of blue and white. Oh, that's a big bone. Part of a cow pelvis, maybe? Oh, didn't look like much, but this is quite cool. It's a homemade boat, and I've just dropped a bit off the mast. I don't think I broke it. Must have been a sad loss for whoever lost it. The Phantom Stone Stacker is another intrepid river explorer. I find his work in lots of local places. I'm nearly at the end today. I just plan on going as far as that bridge up there. I didn't find anything exciting in this stretch. The light was going a bit grey too, and so the film isn't great, so I sped it up. half of walking uphill to get home. Just as a reminder of a lovely cheerful sunny day at the start of this video, and in case you were at all disappointed with the sped up ending, here's some geese that I love feeding back in town near the bridge. And now, roundup time. And I'll freely admit that this wasn't the finest haul of old things from the river, but this hobby is about more than just finding old curiosities. It's also about finding hidden places and experiencing things that few people do. On another plus side, there was a lot less trash of all types in there than I usually see. And I did find some caddisfly larvae, which is a good indication that the river is actually pretty clean. The river glass and pottery today was a bit sparse. This handle thing is probably the most interesting, and after due consideration I think that it might be the handle of a bucket. I'm not sure what this little thing is. It kind of looks like it might have been jewellery, perhaps part of a charm bracelet, but it also looks like it's made of pewter or a similar cheap alloy. So any ideas, anyone? Today was quite the day for kitchen utensils. I really hope none of this was used in a crime. I haven't actually heard of any unsolved knife crime in the town in the last few years, and the crime database isn't showing anything, so the only crime was probably just possession of an offensive weapon, and a knife disposed of instead of used, thankfully. Strangely, I do quite like collecting lanyards. They're small and simple mnemonic triggers for nice memories, but I really only collect them from events that I've attended. Maybe Mudlarking can count as that. This little boat is very sweet. It's quite well made in a very simple form. I think someone loved their childhood enough to want their own child to share some of the very old traditional childhood experiences that they had had. They put at least a few hours into making this and the water took it, leaving no survivors. This thing is quite beautiful in a way. What they are made of though, these beautiful tree-like shapes, is tar. And the back, I think, is some old broken up tarmac. I don't know how these shapes have occurred, but I might keep this if I can figure out how to seal the tar smell in. Maybe a spray on varnish. If anyone knows how these patterns happened, I'd be interested to learn. This statue is not particularly to my taste, but I do have a plan for it. I'll leave it in the shed for a long time, and when Christmas comes around again, I'll take it into town and put it somewhere unobtrusive, that people can catch a glimpse of it and perhaps get a little spark of seasonal cheer from. Maybe the little island in the river where the ducks sleep. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, the usual request is given for likes and shares and comments and subscribing. Whatever you're comfortable with, it all helps to grow the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and for now, goodbye.